Partners committed to guiding you from challenges to triumphs. Their licensed professionals offer personalized therapy for individuals, couples, and families. At IBHS, the focus is you. Experience a life-changing transformation in an environment tailored to your unique needs. Visit ibhealthservices.com today and take that first step towards a brighter future. Discover the power of healing with integrated behavioral health services. You're not alone. Let them walk this journey with you.
Welcome into the LIBA Business Hour, sponsored by Nats to Tasseling, highlighting local independent businesses in and around Lincoln on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here's your host, LIBA President and CEO, Bud Seinhorst.
Good morning. Happy Saturday. It's always fun to come in on a Saturday morning following a Husker win, as ugly as it may be. At least we got the win last night. So thank you to our show sponsor, Nats Detasseling. Earn cash, build character, Nats Detasseling. Learn more about Nats at notafraidtosweat.com. Our opening segment today is sponsored by UStop. Earn points that spend like cash with the kickback card, which can get you snacks and even gas. Available at all 24 UStop locations. And I'm looking around. Nope, Whitey's not here again. So we're going to start the Where's Whitey? He said he was going to be here every week, and he was going to bring breakfast pizzas. So, Mark, if you're listening, this is 2 weeks in a row. So next week, you're going to have to make it a big one when you come down. So you can join the conversation today. You can call or text at 402-464-5685. Listen on the 93.7 The Ticket app, theticketfm.com, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Allo, channel 951. Or you can just come right down here to the awesome studio at 1040 O Street, right on the corner of 11th and O. The Mill Coffee is going this morning, and it's hot, it's fresh, it's ready to go. You can come down and hang out down here. So I'll tell you what, real quick, I want to get in and jump right in. Today we have Nicholas Andrews with us on the show, owner of Campus Cash. Nicholas, welcome to the LIBA Business Hour.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I appreciate being here. I'm a little shorted on not getting this breakfast pizza, though.
Well, you're going to have to catch Mark and see what he has to say for himself. So first of all, before we get kind of deep into Campus Cash, why don't you just give us a little bit of history about you and your connection here in Lincoln, and then we'll get into how you jumped into this new venture with Campus Cash.
Yeah, certainly. So I grew up in Wymore, Nebraska. It's about just under an hour south of here, right on 77. If you Big 12 days used to go down to K-State, you pass right through our town, the single blinking light that we have there. But did my childhood there, and then went on to Creighton University and got my degree there, and then bounced around for a number of years trying to figure out what I was going to do when I grew up, and finally ended up starting a home and community-based provider agency for adults with developmental disabilities, and been doing that for the past 6 years. It's been a wonderful experience, but kind of looked to move forward in my business ventures and decided to take a chance with Campus Cash.
Excellent. So you've got a history as a business owner and, business ventures and diving into these things. So you didn't go into it just totally, and you kind of probably had a good vision for it. So how did it come about with Campus Cash? How did you end up owning Campus Cash?
Yeah, so I had been kind of keeping my eye on different websites that have businesses available for purchase, and through that time, ended up coming across Campus Cash, which I did not personally go to the University of Nebraska, but I knew a number of kids that did, so I was down here and definitely remembered seeing the book, and it just kind of kept continuing to be on the site over and over and over, and I just thought, I felt like there was a real opportunity there. And so kind of took the jump and purchased the business in May, which was wonderful timing considering the first book had to be turned around by August.
Timing is everything in business ownership, right?
Yeah, there's definitely a little difference in the model to which I was operating under to moving on to marketing and advertising. But it's been exciting.
So help everyone understand, what is Campus Cash? I'm familiar because as a young lad in 1990, when I went away to the Kearney State College at the time, they had coupon books that they handed out. And apparently we're the chickens this week. That was pretty good. Nice one, Bach. But just I remember the coupon book. So just kind of tell us what Campus Cash is and kind of a little history there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Campus Cash has been on both UNK and UNL's campus since around 1990. It was owned by a kind of a mom and pop shop out of Fort Collins, Colorado. They did a wonderful job with it. Uh, throughout throughout all those years, it was kind of this ticket style coupon book that just gave an opportunity for students to have deals and discounts throughout the community to which their university was. Um,
The food coupons are the ones I remember the most. Pizzas,
exactly.
sandwiches, all that good stuff.
Talking to a lot of the gentlemen around town as we've been trying to get advertisers is the golf coupon was a very popular one for a very long period of time. So
Really?
yeah, but COVID hit, and of course, as with many things, and students in particular not being out and about and spending dollars, they had to pull back quite a bit, and they really focused in on some of their more local markets and let some of the other ones kind of go by the wayside. But the book had been here for, almost right at 20 years, and they thought, maybe we should try to give somebody else an opportunity to pick it up and run with it, and, I was the one silly enough to go ahead and pick that up.
Well, congratulations on that. So, uh, talk about kind of what it is now, because if our listeners are watching, you can see he's got one of the old coupon books. It literally looks like if you ever went to the College World Series, they used to have a book you could buy of general admission tickets. That's what it kind of reminds me of.
Yep.
But now it's kind of evolved a little bit beyond that. Talk about what it's evolved into now.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, the core of it is, coupons and deals and discounts for the students, but through our time of going out and meeting with business owners, marketing directors, and different general managers, we realized there was so many of them that recalled the book from their time, and we really saw this as an opportunity, to continue to provide value through the discounts and the coupons, but this is really an outlet to reach students. There's 7,000 plus new students that come into Lincoln every year for their freshman year, um, and many of them are not from Lincoln. So really, this is their first opportunity to be introduced, and to the Lincoln market, and we're able to influence not only their spending habits, but also welcome them into the community. And so that's really what we see this as is we've switched over to this more mini magazine style is we want to be able to continue providing the coupons and discounts, but we want to introduce them to Lincoln. We want them to know this community, we want them to love this community, and more importantly, we want them to start their careers in this community. And this is a branded way to provide messaging to these students to introduce them because while many freshmen, of course, do live on campus as they go throughout their 4 years of college, they extend all the way out throughout the Lincoln community. I live down on 84th and Yankee Hill, and we have students in townhomes over there. So they're not just confined to the downtown area. So we want them to understand all of the wonderful things that Lincoln can provide, and we do that through partnering with the businesses, and that's why we joined LIBA, which has been a wonderful organization for us so far. We've met so many great people, and are looking forward to continuing that relationship. Also working with the chamber, so that's really our focus right now is figuring out ways that we can provide value to the students in the deals, the discount, but also kind of start getting them to realize, oh, Lincoln is a lot more than just the campus that I spend the majority of my time on. This is a great place to start a family, begin my career, and really make this a home.
Excellent. And I know the mini magazine is a lot different than just a coupon book. There's advertising, there's coupons, there's different articles in there about different things around the community, which I think is really good. And it was a great opportunity. We were able to provide an article about talking to students about networking and the importance of getting involved and being around the community and those kind of things. So I think it's really kind of cool how it's evolved from just a bunch of coupons into something a little bit more. So, what besides the University of Nebraska, what other campuses are you on?
Yeah, so I'm definitely kind of focusing on Lincoln because that's where we are right now. But we are also at UNK, and then
Go
our
Lopers.
there you go. And our focus then, of course, a little bit selfishly, is to extend into the Omaha market going into the next fall. As a Creighton alum, I'm really excited to have the opportunity to potentially bring it there. UNO has done amazing work up there with expanding their campus. And then, of course, there's a number of other schools up that direction that we'd like to be able to get into. But I think Omaha is going to be a great opportunity for us. But we're really trying to sharpen our skills down here in Lincoln and really get an understanding of exactly what we're going to make this and who we're going to be and what we want this brand to represent.
I think it's cool to look at other colleges because I think of places like Doane and Concordia and Hastings and Peru and Chadron and Wayne and all those communities. I think there are a lot of kids that come in as new students to those communities, and it gives them an opportunity to kind of learn about the community and what's there. I was looking through your book there after one of our meetings here recently, and I was just kind of taking in, like, first of all, there's a lot of LIBA members in there, which is awesome. But secondly, like axe throwing, like I saw Craft Axe, which is a
Mhm.
good LIBA member. Whitey's here, but he's not got pizza. So I guess we'll give him half credit because at least he showed up this week, right? But anyway, I mean, like, there's so many things in a community that's not just, you know, let's say beer and pizza for the college kids type of stuff. So it's kind of cool that you're able to do that and introduce them to the community. So one of the things that we've kind of talked about a little bit is like the evolution of this, because I have a daughter that's a sophomore at UNK. There's 2 weeks in a row, Allison. I mentioned you on my radio show, and you're probably not even listening, but I'll send you the link and force you to listen again. This time you're gonna have to listen for like 15 minutes. So uh but like with Allie out in Kearney, I know that the best way to communicate with my daughter is through her device, her telephone. So is there kind of an evolution that you guys are maybe looking at on how to reach the kids more that way? Is that kind of in a vision, or how does that work?
Absolutely. That was a great leading question. I appreciate that. Um, so we have definitely instigated working on our social media, as we think that's going to be an excellent opportunity, kind of a partner hand in hand with the book itself. And then additionally, there is the Campus Cash app, which is always going to carry all of the deals and discounts specifically, which we hope as we move forward, we really kind of have a lot of the coupon area of the book focused on that app because it makes it so much more convenient for the student to be able to just kind of get on and go, okay, what do I want today? I can flip through and find burger, pizza, taco, whatever it might be. Um, and then as the book continues, still have coupons in there, um, and but starting to provide more content, more focused information, and additionally follow that up with reinforcing the content that we're doing also through the social media. Because I think one of the gaps that, in my mind, and what our goal is that we're going to try to fill, um, is some of the information and education that you don't get in the classroom. I say this somewhat tongue in cheek because I went to 4 years of school and got my degree, but you never want school to get in the way of your education. And I think, as well as the university does at both UNL, UNK, there just isn't a lot of education out there for different areas that we really want to kind of see if we can't help fill the gaps a little bit. So things like financial literacy, citizenship, voting is one of the most you know, profound and important components of being a citizen in this country. But many young people are never really educated on how that system actually works. How do I, register? Where do I go? What are the things I need to do? How do I find information about candidates? You know, different things like that. Financial literacy. I'm taking out all of this money to pay for college. How in the world am I going to pay it back? The thing they don't tell you is you're effectively applying for a small business loan, but you're the small business. So you got to be ready to pay that back. So looking at those different places where there might be gaps and see if we can't provide some good quality valued education. And that's why partnering with so many of the businesses, and the Parks and Rec Association, health oriented organizations, provide so much value to these students that they're just not always getting.
Excellent. Well, and I think that just there's so many opportunities there to push information. Our kids are on their phones. That's how they get information. Um, it's if you send a text message or something pops up on one of their apps, that's how they kind of find it. So that's very good. So will we be seeing you expand into other colleges next year, or are you just going to kind of stick with UNK and UNL, or will we see a great expansion of Campus Cash in the next year?
Yeah, absolutely. That's like I said, within the next year, the goal is to move ourselves up to Omaha, continuing to kind of sharpen our skills and like I said, figure out exactly what we want this brand to represent. But then I would definitely love to start expanding into some of the smaller markets, the Peru State, Wayne State, Chadron. Uh, I think where we're going to start going with UNK is focusing more on a tri-city concept than just UNK, because you've got Hastings there, you've got GI, where you've got Central Community College in all three of those communities. So we definitely think that there's some great opportunity there, but uh, what's also wonderful is that through the Campus Cash app, that's not only students. Community members can download that app as well. Go to either one of your app stores, whether it's through Google or through the Apple Store, and you can download Campus Cash and get all those wonderful deals. But it's just another way to provide value not only to the students but also to the businesses that work with us.
Excellent. So it's just called Campus Cash on the App Store.
Mhm.
I don't have my phone ready enough to jump into look at that, download it all the way here. So you can check it out on the Campus Cash app. Is there a website we can get a hold of you, or how can people
Absolutely.
find you?
Yep. So we're at campuscashne.com. So campuscashne like Nebraska.com.
Excellent. CampusCashNE.com. And then let's talk a little bit more. We'll just kind of go in a little bit more as we wrap up here. Uh, what are some other things that you think, if the students are listening, what are the things you want them to take away, and what do you want them to action step here?
Action step for students, use the coupons. That's the biggest way is at the end of the day, we're trying to provide value to two major groups. One is the people that advertise with us, and two is the people that utilize the book. So use the coupon book, and then from there would be to we're primarily focused on Instagram right now. So again, our handle there is Campus Cash NE. So if you go follow us, we're continuing to grow and expand. Uh, Social media is something I'm still working through and learning more about. So don't judge too hard, but I promise as we continue to sharpen our skills and get moving down the road, there's going to be a lot more quality content for you, and also any type of feedback we can get is going to be great. So I think the last thing, student specific, would be social media. Send us messages. We want to know the businesses that you think should be in the book.
Excellent. And then if you're a business owner, you can go to campuscashne.com, reach out to them. If you've got a presence in Lincoln, Omaha, Kearney, Grand Island, Hastings, kind of those areas, that's where their focus is right now. Make sure you get out there and check it out. And it's a nice opportunity to promote your business, try to drive business into your business, or, even at this point, you probably advertise jobs in there, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
So it's a good way for you to address that workforce problem as a business owner. So those are great ways as a business owner you can engage. Again, Nicholas Andrews from Campus Cash, we appreciate you coming on the LIBA Business Hour and talking about Campus Cash. CampusCashNE.com. Download the Campus Cash app, or Campus Cash NE on Instagram. We'll look forward to it. Nicholas, thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate so much gratitude for giving small business owners the opportunity to kind of get up in front of people. We don't always get that chance. So
this is a
thank you.
fun part of my week. I appreciate DP and Rebecca and the opportunity to be here. So we will be back after this with the LIBA Business Hour on 93.7 The Ticket.
Up your kitchen game with Kitchen Tune-Up. With experienced, creative, and dedicated technicians on their team, Jason, Ron, and the team bring your kitchen dreams to life. Say goodbye to outdated spaces and hello to a renewed, personalized kitchen that will make you the envy of your friends, neighbors, and family. Experience quality craftsmanship and exceptional customer service when you choose Kitchen Tune-Up. Visit kitchentune-up.com/Lincoln-NE today, or call 402-200-4697 and achieve the kitchen tune-up of your dreams.
Picture a hot summer day, sun blazing in the fields as far as the eye can see. Now imagine you're a teenager making bank, all while enjoying the great outdoors. Welcome to Nats Detasseling Inc., where they're not afraid to sweat. This summer, join the Nats team for an unforgettable experience. Forge friendships, learn responsibility, and earn money. Visit notafraidtosweat.com now. Nats Detasseling, where hard work meets good times.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is Nebraska's premier NIL company, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
At Ascend Aesthetics, they understand that you want results and you want them fast. That's why they've developed the fastest weight loss and body toning programs that are clinically proven to shed extra fat, boost muscle mass, and tighten skin without having to spend hours at the gym. Reveal your leaner physique, ignite your testosterone levels, and boost your energy with personalized plans tailored to your goals. Learn more at slimdowne.com or call 402-480-6680. Ascend Aesthetics, where transformation begins. Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is Nebraska's premier NIL company, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
USTOP is a proud member of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association, promoting local businesses through education, networking, and local government advocacy. This is why USTOP sponsors the LIBA Business Hour on the Ticket 93.7. Remember, every time you fill up at a USTOP on a Tuesday, USTOP donates 2 cents for every gallon sold to local charities in our community. This month, USTOP has partnered with the Lincoln Children's Museum. Stop by USTOP and fill up every Tuesday to help us fuel our community.
Back to the LIBA Business Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This segment sponsored by Integrated Behavioral Health Services.
Welcome back to the LIBA Business Hour. I was not paying attention and had to come running back into the studio. So we're a little behind. Welcome back. This segment is sponsored by Integrated Behavioral Health Services, building a stronger, healthier community through advocacy, inclusion, perseverance, unity, and compassion. Learn more at ibhealthservices.com. See, that's what happens when the board chair shows up. You go out and you chit chat with them, and then all of a sudden you come running in late. So this second segment, I'm pretty excited about this segment because I've got my good friend Debbie Brem here from Brem Enterprises. Debbie, welcome to the LIBA Business Hour.
Thanks for the invitation. I'm glad to be here.
Well, I'm excited because the Brem family has such a deep history in the city of Lincoln. And I was very, very lucky to have known your father and all the things that he did. So let's just talk a little bit about the history of Brem Enterprises, because I think it's just a fascinating industry. And when people say Brem Enterprise, I don't think they really know what that means, but unless they really know you and they know Russell. So talk about the Brem Enterprise empire in Lincoln, so to speak.
Well, actually, we started out as Douglas Theater Company. Brem Enterprises came about much later. Douglas Theater Company was the movie theaters that Dad started back in 1950. His first theater opened in 1953 up in Omaha, and that's where the name Douglas Theaters came from. Was It was the site, Douglas County was the site of the first drive-in theater. That's where the name Douglas came from. And so,
Wow,
yeah,
that's interesting. See, there's a little history I didn't even know, but I knew you guys had the Douglas theaters, which then kind of evolved into Brim
right.
Enterprises. But you had theaters in both Omaha and Lincoln. Was there anywhere else?
In Bellevue, and originally Dad had drive-in theaters in Texas as well, but they were too far away to be able to manage and to check on because the flights were very
Yeah.
limited going to and from Texas at that time back in the 50s, and so he ended up selling those
Wow. So drive-in theaters led to all
indoor
the
theaters and
theaters,
the rest of
indoor
them.
theaters
Mhm.
in Lincoln. And so, um, how long did you guys have the theaters in Lincoln then?
Uh, well, he started in 1953 for the first one at 84th and O, and then we sold to Marcus. It was in 2008.
Oh my gosh.
So it
So
was quite a while. Yeah,
a
we
good almost 30-year run.
yeah. Yeah, it was a great industry to be in, and, when we sold during our peak, we were 34th largest theater company in North America, and then when
Wow.
we sold, we were 42nd because the big conglomerates were continuing to build and get larger and larger, and we
Mhm.
were extremely competitive, but we also knew the fact that our base was shrinking, and, because there were things when Blockbuster came out and people started being able to get those videos and take them home and watch, people decided that's what they wanted to do. And then there was people starting to watch on their phones, watch on their computers, and the base was shrinking. Even my own kids weren't going to the movie as often as they used to. And that was just we could see it was probably an opportune time for us to sell. So we sold at our peak, which was in 2008.
Well, but I think that's pretty telling though for Lincoln to be, 32nd,
Mhm.
43rd, um, to be in the market that Lincoln's in and to be one of the top 50 markets in the United States. That's no short task, I don't think, because our population, I mean, when you guys started, our population was probably just under 200,000
Oh, I'm sure it was
or,
probably smaller than
maybe
that. Yeah.
175. And as Lincoln grew, but still, you think about the Chicagos and the Denvers and the Kansas Cities and all those to be in that realm. I think that's a tribute to what you guys did to bring people into the theaters.
One of Dad's theaters was the Q Twin Drive-In at 120th and Q, and it housed 1,200 cars. It was the largest drive-in between Chicago and LA in the country.
1,200 cars.
Mhm.
Goodness gracious. That's like going to a Nebraska volleyball game or something.
Yeah, it was
Well,
huge.
not quite, but pretty close.
Yeah,
So
it was quite large.
amazing. That's awesome. So, um, your dad, I talk about your dad all the time to you, which is
Yeah, I
fun
know. I
because
like that too.
having known Russell, and I will just tell you that you are in a lot of ways a spitting image of your father, which is
That's
kind
a
of fun.
compliment.
Which I
Thanks,
think is, I
bud.
agree, it is a huge compliment. But mostly when watching football games, I remember the first time I went to a game with you when I first started at LIBA. You had a reaction to one of the plays and you slammed your hands down and you yelled, "Come on, you guys." And all I could see was your dad in the up there in the stadium doing the exact same thing. It was absolutely hilarious. So talk a little bit about your dad was involved in a lot of things in our community. So what were some of the things that he really invested his time and effort in to help Lincoln be a better community? Because I think that's one of the things that I love about these longtime local businesses is their investment in the community. It's not just about their business; it's a bigger picture, right?
Well, he was really strong on downtown, uh, and that was because downtown used to be, the mega center of Lincoln, and it's really not as much as it used to be. But because all the businesses were here, and he was very invested in downtown and felt it was important to keep a downtown strong, and as well as the university was huge on the university. But he was a large contributor to the Lead Center when it was first built. He was a contributor to the Cornhusker Hotel when it was originally built. He was an investor in that because he felt it was important to have amenities like that in downtown to keep it strong, and always felt that we had to have a theater presence. And when they first started trying to come back to downtowns, if you recall, that's when he bit the bullet and decided we were going to build the Grand downtown. Nobody in the industry was building anything in downtowns anymore. They were going to the suburbs.
Mhm.
And he felt strong feelings for keeping downtown going. And so we were probably the first one of the major projects in downtown. And really, when you thought about it, you had the Children's Museum to bring people downtown, and then we built the Grand to bring people downtown, and other things have built now. And that was prior to the Haymarket taking off.
Yeah.
So that was a way of making sure that Lincoln stayed invested in their city.
That's awesome. And it's funny because Nicholas, who was on the first segment, we were talking before we went on the air, and he said, "Well, who else are you having?" And I said, "Well, I'm having my friend Debbie Brem from Brem Enterprises." And I said, "You probably don't know Brem Enterprises, but they were the ones that had the theaters here in Lincoln." And this is kind of I think a lot of people, when they talk about the theaters, he goes, "Oh man, I used to love going to the Starship."
Oh, yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is, I mean, it's one of those things. It's
Sure.
very memorable. And I mean, I remember my brother and I used to go to the Starship on holidays when I was home during college. So like on Thanksgiving, we do Thanksgiving with the family, and then we'd go to a movie. And then
Right.
on Christmas, we'd do Christmas,
Me
and then
too.
we'd go to a movie. So it was just a really fun thing. Now, think about the evolution of a theater since you built your first indoor theater here in Lincoln. It's really changed. Going to a movie now is such a different experience.
It really is. It has to be completely different than when we started. People, if you remember, people used to really dress formally to go to the movies too.
Yeah,
Now, you know,
it was a big thing, kind of
Uh-huh.
like when they got on airplanes.
yeah. And now it's totally different. And, they have a lot of different amenities that have to be offered. A lot of different foods have to be offered, different sound system. And we tried to do all of that. We replicated all of that when we sold. And things today continue to evolve. I know that there's better seating, better concession items, more to pick from, but it's a very expensive thing. You have to plan it. It's an event. It's not necessarily just, like you said, to go out on a
It
weekend.
really is.
You have to really plan ahead for it because it's a pretty expensive thing, but it's a lot of fun to still
Well, and
go.
it's a lot of fun, and but like let's just talk about the chairs. I mean, I think the first time I went to a Douglas theater, it was kind of what I would call like an old Devaney style chair.
Sure.
Remember, you and I can talk sports.
Yeah.
The old Devaney chair that just flipped up, and
At least it was padded,
yeah,
though.
at least
Come
it
on,
was
the
padded.
Devaney
Yes,
weren't.
they were padded. That's true. But a little girl, like your little kid, you had to hold it down for him so it
Definitely.
didn't snap him back.
Which is one of the reasons that I located a company that had those booster seats,
Yeah.
because the booster seats would hold the seat down. Because
Yeah.
otherwise, when I had children, I realized the problems that people with kids had.
Yeah.
We put in
And now there are
yeah,
recliners.
yeah.
It's like I have a hard time staying awake at movies now because you put me in a recliner, you'll let me recline back. That thing sucks you in, and it's like I'm ready for a nap.
Yeah.
So I mean, but those kind of things have evolved a ton. And then also you kind of touched on just the amenities that are there. I mean, you can literally go to the theater and have dinner
That's right.
while you're watching a movie. I mean, you can have
foods.
chicken strips and pizzas and burgers. And I mean, we go to South Point a lot because it's the area of town we're in. And it's like, oh my God, we could, it's almost like going out to a restaurant and a movie. So it's quite the experience now.
We had one up in Omaha that was in Midtown, and they actually waitress would serve your food to you in the auditorium itself.
Really?
Uh-huh.
You should tell them that. Of course, with workforce, it might be hard to find people.
Yeah, I'm
so.
sure it's probably much more
But
difficult
yeah, it's just
now.
it's really evolved. So what do you do as Brem Enterprises now?
Okay.
What's your
Well-
what's your deal, so to speak, or what are you guys involved in?
Well, when we sold to Marcus back in 2008, we did keep some of the real estate, and we also had a lot of other real estate ourselves. And that's kind of what we do is we invest in certain projects. Most of them are ours. We have some other buildings that we kind of build to suit.
Mostly commercial
Exactly,
type
commercial.
real estate. So
One of the largest ones that actually is not a Brem Enterprises project, but it's a Brem Holdings, which is with my children, and that's Woof, our dog daycare. And that was something that Garrett Morgan built 5 years ago. And so they're just as interested in developing real estate as I am.
Oh, that's great. It's great to see how involved Garrett and Morgan are in the business. I mean, knowing, Russell and then you, and I know Mary Jo, your sister's
Yeah.
kind of involved,
Mhm.
and now Garrett and Morgan. It's you've really kind of passed that down over generations, which is really cool because sometimes at a certain point it kind of misses, but you guys have been able to kind of keep it going. How have you done that with involving your kids, and how did you get your kids involved in that?
Well, we're just an entrepreneurial family, and also it's kind of fun. I was a member of LIBA when it was started in 1980. I joined in 1983. So when my kids were born in 90 and 91, I started taking all the LIBA things with me because I was going. So they just kind of grew up going to LIBA and learning more about businesses. And I think that they just learned from the experiences that I brought them to.
Very good. And so you mentioned Brem Holdings. You have Wolf down there on South
Yeah,
14th Street,
yeah.
just south of Southwest
14th
High
and
School.
Infinity. Yeah.
Yeah, 14th and Infinity. They do dog daycare and grooming, and
And-
there's a vet clinic
and
attached there. So it's
boarding and
boarding.
yeah, it's a niche market. It really is. But people love their dogs, and we've really realized that. So this is a one-stop shop to have all those things going in one place. If somebody has to take their dog for shots, they can leave it there during the day while they go to work and be on the wolf side being in daycare, and then somebody will just bring it over to the clinic as soon as they have an opening. to
Well,
give
and
them
that's
shots.
that's really nice. So yesterday, my wife was out of town. She was attending a funeral. The dog had a grooming appointment, so I was now in charge of getting the dog to the grooming. Barely made it in time, but she was able to do some things with on the dog daycare side after she was groomed,
Right.
because we weren't able to pick her up later in the afternoon. So that was kind of a really neat thing. So, we're going to talk a little bit. We're going to take a break here in just a minute, Debbie. But I'm going to have you come back after the break because I want to talk a little bit more LIBA with you because I don't know that there's very many people that love LIBA more than you do, or that do as much to try to help grow LIBA as you do. So we'll do that. But let's wrap up. Anything else you want to talk about Brem Holdings, the Brem family legacy, any of that?
One thing
Brag on your dad a
I
little
would
bit.
like to say something about my dad. I think it's kind of interesting. He was a team manager of the football team in 1940 and 41. And when they went to the Rose
That's the first
Bowl,
time they went to the Rose Bowl.
and so he rode the train out to the Rose Bowl. And then when we played again in 2002, the whole family went out. And only two people that they ever talked about on the radio had attended both of them, and there probably were others, was my dad and Ed Schwarzkopf. And those two then kind of were interviewed a little bit about seeing the difference between the 41 and the 2002 trip. So I thought that was interesting.
That's wild. So since you brought that up, I gotta share this. So when we went out there in 2002, I was still working in the athletic department. And the summer before that, we always did our Husker Legends golf tournament. And we always used to bring back former players, and we would pair them up with a team. And we did two tournaments every year. We did one in Omaha, and the other one I think that year was in Columbus. And I mean, in Columbus we had 72 teams. So we had a morning session and an afternoon session. And ironically, when I got home from Columbus that night, the girl I was dating and I went to a movie and I crashed at Edgewood. I remember that like yesterday. But there was a gentleman that played on the 41 team, that played on that Rose Bowl team. And he was the only person that was still alive that played on the team
Wow.
at the time. And so we had him out there, and then he came out to the Rose Bowl. The guys that he played with in the golf tournament, when we went to the Rose Bowl, they set it up to take him, I think, and a family member or two out. Like they took him out as their guest because they wanted him
that's
to be
great.
there. And I remember his name was Herm Rohrig.
Okay.
So he was a player. So that's kind of a neat connection to the two Rose Bowls. So that was kind of fun.
I would like to tell you one more thing that you'll probably find interesting. As team manager, Dad was on the sidelines, and the referees would write on a piece of paper what yard line the ball was sitting on because they didn't have any of the technology they had. And they'd hand it to Dad. He'd run over to the announcer's stand, which was kind of like on those you see in those county fairs now, those
Like
boxes, those little
basically
wooden
a
boxes.
table with a
Yeah,
microphone.
yeah, and they'd be elevated, and so they drop a string down that had a clothespin on the end, and he'd hook that piece of paper on the end of the clothespin. They'd haul it up, and that's how they would read what yard line the ball was sitting on.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Kind of like the old restaurants where they have a little thing where they clip it and they
Right.
zing it
Uh-huh.
across. Wow.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, I'm sure we could talk that all
Oh,
day.
I
but,
know we sure could.
we're going to take a break. I'll have you come back and we'll talk a little bit more about LIBA. This
Great.
is Debbie Brim with Brim Enterprises. We'll have her back after the break. We'll talk a little bit of LIBA. We'll be back on the LIBA Business Hour on 93.7 The Ticket.
Up your kitchen game with Kitchen Tune-Up. With experienced, creative, and dedicated technicians on their team, Jason, Ron, and the team bring your kitchen dreams to life. Say goodbye to outdated spaces and hello to a renewed, personalized kitchen that will make you the envy of your friends, neighbors, and family. Experience quality craftsmanship and exceptional customer service when you choose Kitchen Tune-Up. Visit kitchentuneup.com/Lincoln-NE today or call 402-200-4697 and achieve the kitchen tune-up of your dreams.
USTOP is a proud member of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association, promoting local businesses through education, networking, and local government advocacy. This is why USTOP sponsors the LIBA Business Hour on the Ticket 93.7. Remember, every time you fill up at a USTOP on a Tuesday, USTOP donates 2 cents for every gallon sold to local charities in our community. This month, USTOP has partnered with the Lincoln Children's Museum. Stop by USTOP and fill up every Tuesday to help us fuel our community.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness. And now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is Nebraska's premier NIL company. And with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
At Ascend Aesthetics, they understand that you want results and you want them fast. That's why they've developed the fastest weight loss and body toning programs that are clinically proven to shed extra fat, boost muscle mass, and tighten skin without having to spend hours at the gym. Reveal your leaner physique, ignite your testosterone levels, and boost your energy with personalized plans tailored to your goals. Learn more at slimdowne.com or call 402-480-6680. Ascend Aesthetics, where transformation begins.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. Next, I put it in reverse. Beep, beep, beep.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Are you searching for a helping hand in life? Look no further. Integrated Behavioral Health Services is your answer. They're your compassionate, trusted partners committed to guiding you from challenges to triumphs. Their licensed professionals offer personalized therapy for individuals, couples, and families. At IBHS, the focus is you. Experience a life-changing transformation in an environment tailored to your unique needs. Visit ibhealthservices.com today and take that first step towards a brighter future. Discover the power of healing with Integrated Behavioral Health Services. You're not alone. Let them walk this journey with you.
Picture a hot summer day, sun blazing in the fields as far as the eye can see. Now imagine you're a teenager making bank, all while enjoying the great outdoors. Welcome to Nats Detasseling Inc., where they're not afraid to sweat. This summer, join the Nats team for an unforgettable experience. Forge friendships, learn responsibility, and earn money. Visit notafraidtosweat.com now. Nats Detasseling, where hard work meets good times.
Back to the LIBA Business Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This segment sponsored by Ascend Aesthetics.
Welcome back to the LIBA Business Hour. This segment is sponsored by Ascend Aesthetics. Lose inches, gain confidence with the medical weight loss and body contouring clinic at Ascend Aesthetics. Learn more at slimdowne.com. All right, so we're back here on the LIBA Business Hour. I asked Debbie to stick around because Debbie's been involved with LIBA for about 300 years.
Thank you. Yeah, it started in the Stone Age.
But Debbie has been one of the true champions for our organization. So I thought this segment, we just talk a little bit about a few of the things that are coming up and also talking about being involved in LIBA. And I guess this is the segment while I will talk about the big news of the week out of LIBA. Because I feel like I need to talk about that a little bit. But Earlier this week, I announced that at the end of the year, I will be leaving LIBA as the president and CEO to pursue some opportunities in my own business. And it's really kind of a bittersweet time for me to be talking about that and thinking about that, because I have been a member of LIBA for 10 years. I've been involved. I was involved in the organization for 6 years before I started. Ironically, Debbie, do you know what today is?
Your 4-year
Today's my
anniversary.
4-year anniversary at LIBA. So, but it was one of those opportunities where some things presented itself. But the most important thing for me as I move on in my life and my future was I wanted to make sure LIBA was in a good place. I want to do whatever I can to make sure that we make this a positive transition. So that's why I gave a long notice. Hopefully they don't get tired of me before the end of December. If they do, maybe I can have Debbie talk to them a little bit. But it's a great opportunity for me in my own business, and that's kind of the fun part for me is having been at LIBA and work with business owners for the last 4 years. I mean, I've been a business owner. I haven't been full time in my business, but it's a great opportunity. So I guess in some ways I'm just taking the mission to the next level, right,
That's a
Debbie?
good testament to the organization that
Yeah.
you've made a lot of contacts, and that's just helped you grow your business, and that's what LIBA is all about,
Yeah.
helping businesses grow, and so we cannot stop
Especially
you
in
growing yours.
this time and place. So, and I'll just, since we're wrapping up the week, it was so awesome. We were here at the Ticket on Thursday night. You were here for the ribbon cutting. We had a ribbon cutting over at Lee and Associates at 4:00. Had about 50 people or so there, and then we came over here at 6:00, and it was, I mean,
150 people.
at least
200.
this place was jam packed, and it was really fun to see kind of where this studio has evolved and the presence that 93.7 The Ticket has now. I'm just really proud to be part of it. My little part for 1 hour every Saturday, but I know DP and I and Rebecca had talked a lot about this vision, and just to watch it finally come to fruition, with all those people that were here to support them. I mean, Jake Sorensen called me earlier in the week. He's like, "How many people you usually have at a ribbon cutting?" Oh, 50 to 75 is kind of the range. It might be 40, it might be 80.
Right.
And then we got to talking, and he's like, "Well, I'm trying to figure out like all the food and stuff." And I'm like, "Dude, you guys got a microphone." Like there's a lot of promotion going on, but I think it was a great room of people that are listeners, advertisers. The talent was all here that's on the radio. And it was just all these people coming together because it's just such a great celebration. So, and to me, that's what LIBA's about, right? I mean,
Right.
we support each other. We are here for each other. So,
I agree with that, but I also want to say, as I said in the earlier segment about keeping downtown strong, that was something that Dad did. The Ticket coming downtown here is great. It just shows that it's another business that wants to come back to downtown here and continue to keep it strong. And I appreciate that they're here. My office is downtown here, and I walk by here all the time. Now I can come up here to the bakery. And
you just
everything,
come over and sit here and listen to them now that
exactly.
we're converting you into a Ticket listener.
Right.
But I think it's really cool. This is one of the things, and I'm glad you brought up your dad in the downtown from the previous segment, because this is kind of that vision your dad had when he built the Grant. No other Lincoln radio station is doing this. No other Lincoln radio station has got the interactive component. I mean, I know you listen to the show, but a couple weeks ago when we were playing Louisiana Tech, a couple fans from Louisiana Tech walked by, and they got over just past the window, and I'm pointing to the window for those of you watching, you can see it. And they got there and they stopped, and I was like, "Oh, they're going to come back and take a selfie. Watch this." And I knew it. I just knew it in my head. So they came back, they took a selfie, like we're waving, like we paused in the middle of the show, we're waving. So we wave them in, and they came in, and we talked to them for a few minutes, and it was fun. And then those folks leave, and Sam Hoiberg's here getting his girlfriend a coffee because she's on the dance team. Sam comes in. I mean, like, that's the coolness of this studio. And what they're doing. And this to me is so forward thinking for Lincoln, Nebraska, which I think is just awesome. So
I do too.
it's really the epitome of I'm gonna say DP and Rebecca and your dad had similar visions here, which
That
I
makes
think
sense.
if
Certainly
Rebecca and
does.
DP are listening and you need Russell Brim, that would be one of the biggest compliments I could give you. So
Yeah, that's great. But that's also a tribute to LIBA here for the ticket, because you always spoke highly about the ticket in LIBA, as well as other advertisers and other members. And I think that's just the way that we do try to promote our members. to our
ticket's been my
organization.
outlet because of my love of sports.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
but so let's talk a little bit. We have one of the things that LIBA does is a lot of networking opportunities. We talked about the ribbon cuttings, and we have those just kind of randomly when we work with our businesses. But we do our monthly lunches, we do our biz nets, and we do our coffee and contacts.
Right.
And we got some fun stuff coming up this month, Debbie.
Yes, we sure do.
This week on Thursday, we're having our biz net
And
at
the poker tournament. That's
tournament.
what you like to play.
Well, I
Garrett won it one year, and
I
just the
know.
trophy. I'm very proud of him.
I got to tell you though, there's a lot of pressure on me to win this poker tournament this year. Do you realize that?
Why is that?
Because I am the only CEO at LIBA whose name isn't on that trophy.
Oh, well, then you'd better get busy.
So I
You
mean,
better-
if
you
I
better
don't
start
win, I
counting
fail.
cards.
Something, either that or just keep feeding them money for more coins. So, so that's a fun opportunity. It's at
Sure.
Buffalo Wings and Rings over there at 40th and Old Cheney. 4:30 to 6:30 is the BizNet. As BizNet wraps up, we're going to sit down. We're going to have the poker tournament. I think we got 15 people pre-registered already, so
That's
it's going to be
great.
a fun time. We're excited about that.
You
Then,
usually have 4 or 5 tables of people.
Yeah.
It's usually.
yeah, we
really
usually
fun.
have 25 to 30 people playing poker, so it's a good time.
I like to watch. I don't play.
It's
I
a-
played a couple times.
It's a
and
good
I-
way to support that local business, right? So,
Exactly.
then on the 17th, we have our monthly lunch. We do a monthly lunch every month where we speak. We bring in speakers. This month we have Lincoln Police Chief Bashawn Morrow is going to come in. That's on the 17th from 11:31 right here in downtown Lincoln at
Right.
the Grand Manse over here about 11th and P, or 10th and P, between 9th and 10th and P. On the 24th, we do our coffee and contacts, which is going to be hosted by Revolution Wraps up on Cornhusker Highway. A good time before work to stop and have coffee. And then on October 26th, we're going to have another ribbon cutting. October seems to be ribbon cutting month. Over at Ascend Aesthetics, their new location at 16th and Old Cheney, where they're offering some new services. Who we had them on the show last week. So, talk about why these networking opportunities are really important for our members, Debbie.
Well, there's one of the main reasons people join is for the networking. And when you can start going to BizNets or going to Coffee and Contacts and meet other business people, exchange your business card, create a relationship with them, then hopefully, you'll start getting new clients. And that's exactly what we've found. A lot of LIBA people, including myself, do business with other LIBA members. That's really important.
I always say our members are very loyal.
Exactly.
And I mean, I talk about how many times during a week that somebody calls, texts, emails me and asks me, I need a person for X. I need a tire person. I need an attorney. I need an accountant. I need somebody to help me with social media. I need somebody to help me with plumbing or heating or whatever. So it's just a very good one. And the other thing that I think that I've heard over the last 4 years as we do these events is we have a lot of new people that come. And, when somebody's interested in LIBA, I'm always like, come to an event, come and check us out, come and see what we're about, get to know some of our people. And one of the takeaways I always get is we're so welcoming.
And that's true.
And
I
I
like that.
love it
I
when
do
that's
too.
what people say when they walk in and they do that. So,
At our monthly luncheon, because I'm membership chair of the organization, that's my committee that I run. I have a new member table, and any new member that comes, they walk in, they might see 60 people and not going to know anybody. I like to make sure that they have a table to sit at with other new members, or at least with me and a couple of board members, so they feel comfortable. They have somebody to talk to, because that's
Yes.
pretty intimidating to walk into a luncheon and not
yeah,
know
not
anybody.
know anybody. Absolutely. So, as we get ready to wrap up the show today, the final word is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative, helping student athletes excel within the name, image, and likeness NIL landscape. Learn about how you can be involved at 1890nebraska.com. As we wrap up the show today, for those of you that are watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Allo Channel 951, you will notice that I am wearing my Lopers for a Cure shirt today. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I am participating in Lincoln Leaders Wear Pink this month to raise awareness to breast cancer and raise money to help breast cancer research. So I'm excited to be part of that. I appreciate Kendall Warnock at A1 Automotive for inviting me to be a part of that. It's an exciting time. I've got a very close friend, and she's in a hell of a fight right now. She's got, I think it's stage 3 breast cancer, and she's on round 4 of chemo, and she actually started round 4 yesterday. So it's something a little near and dear to my heart, and I hope you guys will take a look at that and help support all these Lincoln leaders and the leaders in Lincoln that are part of it. We will be back with you next week down here at 11th and O at 93.7 The Ticket. You've been listening to the LIBA Business Hour.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you searching for a helping hand in life? Look no further. Integrated Behavioral Health Services is your answer. They're your compassionate, trusted partners committed to guiding you from challenges to triumphs. Their licensed professionals offer personalized therapy for individuals, couples, and families. At IBHS, the focus is you. Experience a life-changing transformation in an environment tailored to your unique needs. Visit ibhealthservices.com today and take that first step towards a brighter future. Discover the power of healing with Integrated Behavioral Health Services. You're not alone. Let them walk this journey with you.
At Ascend Aesthetics, they understand that you want results and you want them fast. That's why they've developed the fastest weight loss and body toning programs that are clinically proven to shed extra fat, boost muscle mass, and tighten skin without having to spend hours at the gym. Reveal your leaner physique, ignite your testosterone levels, and boost your energy with personalized plans tailored to your goals. Learn more at slimdowne.com or call 402-480-6680. Ascend Aesthetics, where transformation begins.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
USTOP is a proud member of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association, promoting local businesses through education, networking, and local government advocacy. This is why USTOP sponsors the LIBA Business Hour on the Ticket 93.7. Remember, every time you fill up at a USTOP on a Tuesday, USTOP donates 2 cents for every gallon sold to local charities in our community. This month, USTOP has partnered with the Lincoln Children's Museum. Stop by USTOP and fill up every Tuesday to help us fuel our community.
Up your kitchen game with Kitchen Tune-Up. With experienced, creative, and dedicated technicians on their team, Jason, Ron, and the team bring your kitchen dreams to life.